talking today about adolescence. For some, those tween years are quick and challenge-free, but for others, it can be the hardest part of their life. And I'm not just talking about kids, parents too. We're here today with Eric Faw from Chesterfield County Mental Health Support Services, talking about some opportunities available to learn a little bit more in terms of navigating those years with your child. Thanks so much, Eric, for joining us.
Thank you, Amy.
So there's a class that you're offering. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's active parenting for teens and tweens. It's designed for parents of middle schoolers, which is basically age 10 to sometimes 15. It's designed to really help parents through that tough time when they're raising teens and tweens. So to help them understand their children's development better, so they can understand better what's actually happening with their child and why they're acting the way they are. To help with resolving or at least minimizing the conflict between parents and the teens and tweens. To help the parents learn new strategies for discipline, for setting proper limits, and all the parents that come to the group actually get a parent's guide along with that to take home with them, which has a lot of tips in it and so on.
So when is that class going to be offered?
It starts, it's from February 21st to March 28th. It's on Wednesday evenings from 6:30 to 8. It's a 5-week class, and it'll be at the North Courthouse Library.
Is there a cost associated with this class?
There's a $50 charge for per family. If a family has difficulty paying that, then they can contact myself or my office to talk about, negotiating the fee.
Wonderful. Well, you work with families all the time, and as a past middle school teacher and parent, I have had my fair share of navigating those terrible tween years. Is there any common theme that you see that our kids kind of experience?
Certainly, there's different issues that are very common. Anxiety being a really big one at the moment. A lot of the teenagers that I work with talk about just having a great deal of anxiety, even complaining about panic attacks, anxiety attacks. The schools that I work with talk about that being one of the greatest issues they see among their students. So there's anxiety, some depression, obviously, and drug use, but anxiety right now seems to be a really major issue.
Well, I think it is kind of nerve-wracking, kind of being in between,
Yeah.
like our tweens are. One of the calls that we get a lot at the Office of Family and Community Engagement are parents and staff kind of wondering, how do I motivate this child? Always was a motivated child. All of a sudden, they've hit this time in their life and motivation is out the window, or they're not trying as hard to please.
Yes, that's very true.
Are there any thoughts or any suggestions that you could give?
I think a first step is definitely good communication. There's so many reasons why a teenager or tween could be having difficulty with motivation or doing their homework, doing well in school. It could be anything, obviously from they're having difficulty with the work. Maybe their eyesight isn't good enough, so they have trouble reading the board. Maybe they're being bullied at school, so they don't want to go to school. So if we don't know the reason why the motivation has declined, then we really can't address it in the proper way. So understanding what's going on with our teenagers, which can be difficult, obviously, during these years because they don't always want to communicate. But understanding what's going on, that's what's decreasing their motivation, is important. Also, to help somebody do things that they don't want to do is difficult, of course, as we know. And so trying to find ways to make what they don't want to do more attractive. And there's lots of different strategies to do that actually we talk about in the class. So that's part of it also, because just to nag our kids or yell or shout at them or whatever to get them motivated doesn't really seem to work very well, and it's exhausting for us.
Right. Well, and you end up kind of going through their anxious period by becoming anxious yourself, right?
Very true.
It's a challenging time. So this is a great way to plug this course or this opportunity. Can you give us kind of the details about how to register?
It's very simple. You just contact Chesterfield County Mental Health Support Services, and they can walk you through the process of filling out the paperwork and where to make the payment to and get you into class. It's quite a simple process.
Well, we appreciate all that you are doing from offering this class to the many other ways in which Chesterfield County Mental Health Support Services serve our community. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us here on Engage Chesterfield. I'm Amy Bartolotti with the Office of Family and Community Engagement.